But you know where we have to start, because I I want to not talk about it, but they keep giving me material. Oh, it gets me crazy. I'm talking about the WNBA, and I'm talking about the head coach of the Indiana Fever first and foremost. Because why did you have to lie, Stephanie White? Why did you have to lie? I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. I really wanted to believe you, Stephanie, and I'm talking to you, Stephanie. I know you're not listening, but you know what I'm talking about. When you told us 3 days after the fact, by the way, that you didn't see the flagrant 2 foul committed by DeJounte Carrington against your player, Sophie Cunningham, in real time Saturday night. That's what you told us 3 days later. But the evidence doesn't lie. Look at it. You're looking at the play. How can you tell us that? The picture, I feel like I'm doing Forensic Files and I'm Nancy Grace and I'm doing a documentary on some crime that was committed. I mean, this is what's crazy about it. You said back on Saturday when that play took place in the post game, right? That was the time, follow me here, that Stephanie White praised DeJounte Carrington and her defense and said nothing about her own player, Sophie. So 3 days later, she says, I didn't see the play in real time. Then if that was the case, even though it looks differently, but if that was the case, why are you praising the opposing player if you didn't see the play in real time? I don't understand it. There's a disconnect there. So instead of supporting your own player, you supported the opposing player, even though your player, Sophie Cunningham, went back to courtside bloodied. Stephanie White, here's the issue. I really wanted to believe her, but she created the mess that she's in right now. If only she told the truth. This is what she should have said Saturday after the play that involved Sophie Cunningham. She should have told the media then and there and told the truth. I did see the play. I'm glad DeJounte Carrington was thrown out. She deserved the flagrant 2 foul. I'm glad Sophie was not seriously hurt. I'm glad she's okay. That all should have happened at the same time. And then she should have grabbed the narrative and said, now let's talk about how great my team played and how we are led by Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell and what an amazing tandem they are. This is what head coaches do. They grab hold of the narrative. They create the narrative. They don't let people online create a narrative. They don't let the media in the room create the narrative. Head coaches of every sport do it this way. Why didn't Stephanie White do that? But she allowed this to fester all the way till Tuesday by not doing exactly what I said. And it's not just me. I'm no genius. Anyone who watches sports all these years understands what head coaches do. They call the shots. They control the narrative. Instead, she let it fester. Then it boiled over. Then Tuesday, before the Fever game against the Liberty, Stephanie White gave an emotional pregame statement that basically ripped everyone without herself looking in the mirror and taking some responsibility. She changed her story. She said, I did not see the play in real time. And really, again, the video, the pictures say differently. And that's not all. She also reiterated that she does have her players' backs 100% of the time. And the other thing, she could have shared with us that maybe she called a meeting with her players. I don't know if she did. That would have been a great thing to do, to have a sit down with your players. And if she did, to share it to us. But no, her emotional, passionate statement was ripping everyone basically except herself. Roll it, Dominic.
The fear-mongering, the divisiveness, the stuff that's trying to hijack our league will not win. It won't win. We are united. We are connected. We will not be divided. Every day these women put their on the line. Every day. When they go low, we go high. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. And kindness will win. I stand by them. I will always stand by them. Everybody else can go to hell.
Really? Everyone else could go to hell, Stephanie White? What about the love? What about the grace? What about the humility? What about the integrity? What about taking the high road, which she had mentioned earlier? That's not taking the high road, telling everybody you don't agree with, go to hell. That's not what head coaches in control that don't let the outside bother them do. It was very disappointing because at first I was like happy that she was trying to take control of the narrative, even though it came a few days late. But she did a horrible job. But then after she took the court, because that came pregame, she took the court, she was booed by the hometown fans in Indiana. The Fever fans booed her. The players then went out and kicked the butts of the Liberty, won big in that game. And after that game, it was no secret, the two players that were put up there on the podium to talk to the press was Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark. Let's hear from Caitlin. Roll it, Dominic.
I talked to Steph earlier in the day too, and I think we forget a lot of times, like, we're human and she has feelings, and there's moments that are really hard, and sometimes that's just the job you sign up for. But at the same time, like, it's okay to feel those emotions. And I just told her, like, I've been through the same thing. Like, there's been days where I've been really upset, and you can have the thickest skin in the world, but sometimes it does get to you. And I think our world is just like, we love to hate, we love to divide. Like, that's all we want to do. Like, nobody wants to see each other succeed. And I think that's a really painful thing for myself to watch. I feel like we need to do a better job at uplifting each other. And I can assure you there was no way we were losing this game tonight. And I told her that.
Caitlin Clark, once again, the adult in the room, articulating perfectly, doing the right thing, taking the high road, supporting her head coach, even though the body language in the past by her, by Cunningham, by other players during those press conferences when Stephanie White speaks, not all that good, which I have noticed over the weeks. But Caitlin Clark took the high road there. Why not? She should, because she cares about winning. She knows this team, a very entertaining Indiana Fever team. They are so good. I mentioned Caitlin. I mentioned Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Sophie. I mean, they're playing with such great chemistry. Why ruin that? Why distract from the main goal, which is winning a championship? And that's what Caitlin Clark wants to do. She knows if she rips her coach, or if she, I don't know, if she kind of like hems and haws and sounds fake, that'll be a distraction. And that's what she doesn't want. She knows how good this team is. She talks like a head coach right there, does Caitlin Clark. She knows this team has a chance to win it all. She's not going to blow it by ripping her coach. Now, at the end of the year, things could change. Maybe they will have a players' meeting. I know management, came out with a statement earlier this week that they support Stephanie White and she's doing a great job, blah, 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 blah. But you know how those go. We'll see what happens at the end of the year. Here's what I hope happens. I hope Stephanie White, this is a wake-up call for her. It'd be great if she stayed on as a head coach, if she changed her ways a bit. I hearken back. I never thought I would say hearken, but I hearken back to Tom Coughlin. Yes, I'm a big Giants fan. And if you remember when Tom Coughlin was the head coach of Jacksonville before he got to the Giants, he was a hard-nosed son of a bee, right? Players didn't like him all that much. He comes to the Giants. It didn't start off great. I remember Michael Strahan getting into it a lot with Tom Coughlin, and they talked. They had a meeting. And he echoed what players in the locker room were saying about their head coach. And guess what happened? Tom Coughlin looked in the mirror, altered his ways a bit, changed his personality a bit, understood the players a bit more, where they were coming from. And Tom Coughlin went on to win 2 Super Bowls with the New York Giants. That's what I would like to see from Stephanie White. It can happen. You don't have to lose your job. Just change your way and look in the mirror and stop the blame game. Question is, will she do it?